Attention passionate Seattle Seahawks fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC West and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Seattle Seahawks' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Seattle Seahawks fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your FRINDS and Seattle SEAHAWKS fans. Let's get to the news all right, folks. Let's dive into some spicy rumors that have been swirling around the NFC West. Rumors that could seriously shake up the landscape of the division and have the Seahawks rethinking their approach heading into the next season. The buzz is all about Baltimore Ravens defensive tackle Justin Madubuike potentially landing in Seattle. And if these whispers turn into reality, it could be one of the most impactful moves for the Seahawks in recent years. Now, I know, trades are always tricky, but the way this one looks shaping up, it might be exactly what Seattle needs to take a big step forward on defense, especially along the interior line. So here's the scoop. The Ravens, sitting at 7-7 with a pretty solid rushing defense, but still looking to fine-tune their roster, are reportedly considering trading Madubuike. The Seahawks, currently at 8-6 and needing to bolster their defensive front, are seen as a prime landing spot. The whispers suggest that Seattle might offer a second-round pick plus a third-round pick in this year's draft in exchange for Madubuike. That's a pretty reasonable price considering his production and potential. Plus, this move would free up around $20 million in cap space, giving the Seahawks more flexibility to address other areas, like bolstering their pass rush with some targeted picks for edge rushers or even re-signing key players. Now, let's talk about Madubuike himself. This guy is a disruptive force on the interior, a true game changer at the defensive tackle position. His stats are eye-popping. If you haven't been paying attention, in 2025 he's projected to rack up around 12 sacks, which is huge for a DT. He also records about 30 quarterback hits, 10 tackles for loss, and boasts a PFF grade of 89.8, putting him squarely in the top 5 among defensive tackles. His pressure rate is around 19%, which indicates he's constantly in the backfield, wreaking havoc on opposing offenses. And don't forget his ability to force turnovers. He's already forced 5 fumbles despite a slight ankle injury that sidelined him for a game in Week 9. Madubuike's career stats are equally impressive: 40 sacks, 90 QB hits, and 35 tackles for loss over 5 seasons. He's a versatile 3-technique DT who can plug gaps against the run and collapse the pocket as a pass rusher, making him a nightmare for offensive lines. His impact isn't just about raw numbers, it's about how he elevates the entire defense. When he's on the field, the Ravens' run defense becomes notably better, and his presence often frees up others to make plays, including the Seahawks' own pass rushers like DJ Jones. From the Ravens' perspective, they're somewhat cautious about parting with Madubuike. Their Super Bowl odds are at plus 1,200, and they're prioritizing cap space for their secondary rather than splurging on a $25 million cap hit for Madubuike. They're focused on youth development and building around their existing core, which includes star players like Marlon Humphrey and others. They see Madubuike's contract as a luxury they can't fully afford right now, especially considering their focus on extending their secondary and other key positions. But for the Seahawks, this could be a game changer. Seattle's defensive line has been decent, anchored by players like Williams and Murphy, but overall, their run defense has allowed for 3 yards per carry, which is just okay but not elite. Bringing Madubuike into the fold would significantly strengthen that interior, adding a layer of disruption that could elevate the entire defense. Imagine a front with Madubuike, DJ Jones, and the emerging talent along the line. Opposing offenses would have a lot more trouble establishing the run and would face relentless pressure on passing downs. In terms of impact, the projection is pretty exciting. If Madubuike joins the Seahawks, we could be talking about adding around 14 sacks to the total, which would be huge for a defensive line that's already showing promise. His presence would reduce rushing yards allowed by approximately 18%, making it tougher for opponents to run effectively against Seattle. When you combine that with the Seahawks' existing pass rush, it creates a nightmare scenario for offenses trying to move the ball. Plus, Madubuike's ability to generate pressures, about 1/8 per 100 snaps, would boost turnovers, possibly leading to an additional 8 takeaways per season. That's a significant boost to a Seahawks defense that's been opportunistic, but could always use more playmakers. Now, this move could also have strategic ripple effects. For instance, it would help balance the defense against versatile backs like Christian McCaffrey, giving Seattle a better shot at containing him and other dynamic playmakers in the NFC West. With Madubuik clogging up the middle, the Seahawks' defense could become more impenetrable, especially in the red zone, where they could see an improvement of around 15% in red zone efficiency. That's huge, especially in close games and playoff scenarios. And speaking of playoffs, the odds are already shifting in Seattle's favor. The Seahawks' Super Bowl odds could improve from plus 1,500 to around plus 700 if they land Madubuik. That's a massive jump, and it positions Seattle not just as a playoff contender, but as a real threat for deep postseason runs. Simulations show that with Madubuik in the mix, the Seahawks could see a 19% increase in their chances of winning in trench wars, those crucial battles along the line that often decide the outcome of tight games. It's reminiscent of the kind of impact players like Aaron Donald had in Lowe's Angels, game winners who changed the course of seasons. This speculation about Madubuik isn't happening in a vacuum. It's part of a broader strategy for the Seahawks to rebuild the front, contend for multiple Super Bowls, and establish dominance in the NFC West once again. The NFC West has been a competitive division lately, with teams like the 49ers and the Rams always lurking. But Seattle's defense is starting to look like it's on the verge of a big leap, especially if they can add a player of Madubuik's caliber. The team has been steadily improving on offense, with Geno Smith leading a potent attack, but defense wins championships. And adding a disruptive force like Madubuik would send a clear message to the rest of the league that Seattle is serious about competing at the highest level. The potential move also echoes the kind of strategic gambles that pay off, like when the Chiefs traded for Chris Jones or the Rams acquired Aaron Donald. Those moves transformed their defenses into nightmares for offenses, and it's exactly what the Seahawks need right now. The front line is a crucial part of that, and Madubuik's addition could elevate the entire defense to a new level. Plus, with the draft picks involved, Seattle could still target other needs early in the draft, especially focusing on edge rushers to complement their interior strength. It's a smart, strategic move that could pay dividends for years to come. And let's not forget, the Seahawks are already on a pretty solid trajectory. They've shown resilience and growth, and this kind of move would demonstrate that they're willing to go all in on a championship push. With Madubuik, the Seahawks could also become more unpredictable, forcing offenses to game plan around their revamped interior line. It's about building a defense that can dominate in the trenches, control the clock, and give Geno Smith the support he needs to keep the offense firing on all cylinders. Of course, all of this hinges on the trade actually happening, but the signs are pointing towards a real possibility. If Seattle pulls the trigger, it would mark a bold step forward in their quest for Super Bowl glory. The division rivals would have to scramble, and Seahawks fans would finally get to see their team truly compete with the best of the best. It's the kind of move that could define a franchise, and honestly, it's the kind of boldness that Seahawks fans love to see. So, as we watch this story unfold, keep your eyes peeled. The offseason is always packed with surprises, but a potential Madubuik trade is shaping up to be one of the most exciting. It's a move that could reshape the Seahawks' defense and set the stage for a new era of dominance. The NFC West is about to get a whole lot more interesting, and Seattle fans should be excited about what's coming next. Because if this move happens, it's not just a signing, it's a statement. The Seahawks are back in the game, and they're here to win. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YouTube algorithm to keep recommending the latest Seattle Seahawks news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. And now Seattle Seahawks fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this potential move for Justin Madubuik? Do you think it's the right step towards Super Bowl glory? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Seahawks. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Seattle Seahawks news. This offseason is shaping up to be one of the most exciting in recent memory, and we're here to bring you all the details, analysis, and insider info every step of the way. So buckle up, Seahawks fans, because the future looks bright, and it's about to get even more intense.